Hello students, I am Piyush Arora and today in my session I will explain you how to use input in Java. Now students, the process of providing data or values of variables used in the program during the execution from the input device, that is the keyboard, is known as data input. Now there are four methods of inputs. There are four methods. That is input using initialization, then input using method function, that is parameters and arguments, input using a scanner class, input using buffered reader. These are the four methods to perform the input tasks. Now we will go to the first one, that is using initialization method. The process of assigning data or actual values to a declared variable is known as initialization. The result obtained thus will remain same for even multiple executions of the program since the values are fixed. Now students, this method is actually a method where the values are given by default. Already the values are assigned to the variables, and whatever the values are assigned, the answer will depend on those values. However, many times you run this program. Maybe suppose you run this program 10 times. The value of A is 56 and the value of B is 44. So the addition, when you do addition, the answer will always be 100 because the values are fixed, or you can say they are given by default in the program itself as 56 and 44. So you see here the program class sum of numbers 1. So this is the first program for adding the numbers. Word sum is the function. Int a, b, c are the variables. The value of a is 56. The value of b is 44. C is a plus b. This is the expression for giving sum. System.out.println sum of a and b is equal to c. Now when you do this program on computer, you will see that the answer you get is sum of 56 and 44 is equal to 100. If you run this program 10 times, you will get the same answer. Sum of 56 and 44 is equal to 100 because the values are not changing. Values are fixed over here. So for fixed values or for default values, pre-assigned values, you can do this program. You can do this sort of program. But this is not a very good idea of having a program where the values are fixed, because the program itself has no meaning if the values are fixed. The values have to be changed every time so that the program can be used for various types of values. So the second method is using the method function or parameters. The variables given as one or more along with the corresponding data types in the function argument or parameter list are known as method initialization. Now here, this program you can see class sum of numbers 2. This is second program, so I have given numbers 2. Word sum. Now here you see there is a change which you have not seen earlier. Here there is an parameter list. I told you earlier when I explained you functions, I had given a syntax where parameter list or arguments were optional. Now here, since option has been taken, so this option is here, int a, int b. Two variables are assigned here. Two variables are declared. Only the variables have to be declared. Values are not to be declared. So word sum, and inside the brackets int a, int b. Earlier you were not giving anything in the bracket, but now you have given two arguments or parameters. Now again another variable int c is taken. C is equal to a plus b. System out println sum is equal to a and b is equal to c. So this is the program. Now in this program values are not given. Now where the values will come from? The values will come when you execute this program and run this function. Then the computer will ask you the values of a and b, and the values which you give then will be taken into account and added, and the sum will be printed accordingly. So if that time you give 56 and 44, then you will get 100. If you give suppose 26 and 32, you will get 58 as the sum. So Every time you run this program and you run this function, what will happen? The computer will ask you the values. It will demand the values from you, and accordingly you can change the values of your choice and get the answer. So this is a better method. This is a more generalized program as compared to the previous program, which is more specific to the values. This is more generalized because the values are going to be changed every time you run the program. And the third method here is using a scanner class method. The class that allows user to input or read primitive data types like int, short, float, double string, etc. are known as scanner class. It is used to get input from input stream through console. You input the data through output terminal window and get your result in the same view. So here actually what is happening, you must have seen the output window or terminal window where you are getting answers after programs. When you run the program, you get the results. So there you can give the inputs as a prompt. The computer will prompt you and demand you the values. There you will give the values, and accordingly it will take those values in the variables and calculate and give the answer. But here there are some changes in the program to be done, to be followed for doing this type of input method. Import java.util.star. Now this is a package, util.star. Java.utility.star is a package which has a class scanner. Scanner is a class. So this class can be only used when you import this package, because this package is by default not imported, means it is not loaded into the compiler. So when you have to import it, so you write import keyword and write the name of the package so that this scanner class can work. Otherwise this scanner class will not be able to execute, or this error will be there because computer will not be able to identify the scanner class. It can only identify when this package is loaded. Then class sum of numbers 3, where sum is already there, the function is there, these three variables are there. Now we enter the prompt over here. We say system.out.print, enter the first number. Now what is this? This is a prompt which will come on the output screen. So the computer will print enter the first number, and before this prompt here you will give the first number. So that number will go where? This is the command a is equal to sc.nextInt. This is a statement. NextInt is the function of scanner class which takes the input as an integer, and sc is the object. You see new operator which I explained you last time. New operator is being used. Scanner is the name of the class which is imported from java.util.package, and sc is the object of that class. New is the operator which makes the object. Scanner again the same class. System.in is the class under which this scanner comes. System.out, you see here, out for printing the output on the screen, in for inputting the data from the keyboard. So this is a statement to make the object of the scanner class. Sc is the name which you give. Any name can be given by you. It is not necessary. You can give any name. In input also you can give. Inp you can give. I have given sc. So a is equal to sc.nextInt. What does this do? NextInt, after the NextInt, what is there? There is open brackets, close brackets. So here nothing to be given. Just a function name has to be given. This function belongs to scanner class and it is used for inputting the numbers as integers by using the sc object. Sc object is for scanner, so that this NextInt gets connected to the object of the scanner class, and a is the variable which will hold the value to be input by the user. So the first number is input and they stored in a. Second number is also the same method. Enter the second number, and b is equal to sc.nextInt. The next number will go into b. So these two variations, or you can say some new functions are there which you have to learn, which you learn today. NextInt here for inputting the integer values to a and b, and the rest of the part remains same. C is equal to a plus b. System out println sum of a and b. So what will happen when you run this program on the computer? In BlueJ, computer will first ask you enter the first number, and here before this message you will give the first number and press enter. When you press enter, enter the second number. Then you press enter, the computer will take the value in b and then add them and print the sum. So this is a better user interface method. Means the person who is using the program, who is executing the program, is more user friendly. This program seems to be more user friendly to input the values and get the answers. Whereas the earlier programs, here you have to understand or have to know the meaning of method, and then you input the values in the method and then you give the values. So this is little bit more programming concerned. But here a layman also can do this program, because when you run this program, a layman knows that enter the first number, so he enters the first number, and enter the second number, so a second number is entered. So this is a more generalized or more user friendly program. Then same with the scanner class, there is another method using buffer reader. Now buffer reader method is an input stream that contains method function for reading standard Java data types from input console. This is also the same type of input and same user friendly method, but with a little difference. Instead of java.util.star, you will enter import java.io.star. And here you will say void some throws IO exception. Throws IO exception is to throw away all the error exceptions which may occur while inputting the data. This I will explain you in detail when we go to the chapter of exception handling. So this I will explain you, but here you just have to write throws IO exception. IO means input output exception. And then you again make the object of buffer reader. As you made the object here of scanner sc is equal to new scanner system.in, you make the object buffer reader br. Br is the name of the object of buffer reader class, and new is the operator. Buffer reader and new input stream reader, this is the class in input stream class which does the streaming and storing from the keyboard, and system is in the same category. Same here also is you have the system.in, there also you have the system.in. So there is no difference in that. Only this is a little bit different. Buffer reader br is equal to new buffer reader, and in that new input stream reader system.in. So this is a little bit difference, only difference. Otherwise the things remain same. Int abc, 3 variables are being used. Enter the first number. So again the same method of inputting the numbers. Now here this is a method. This is a method read line. br.readline is a method. Read line what? Read line is to read the line of numbers or strings, whatever, in the form of a string. And br is the object of the buffer reader. Now this, since the number is being entered into a string form, it has to be converted to the integer form. So integer.parseInt is a function of integer class. ParseInt is a function. Integer class is a class to convert the function, to convert the value from string to integer. So parseInt converts from integer to from string to integer and stores it in A. So A holds the number as an integer, although the number is being entered in the string form, but it is converted through this method and stored in A. System out print, again enter the second number. So a second number is entered, again that number is converted from the string value to the integer value and stored in B, and C is equal to A plus B and system sum of the numbers like this. This is also user friendly method. This is also, you can either use this method of inputting or using scanner class, which is even simpler, seems to be much simpler than the buffer reader method. Now you see here I have given system.out.print. System.out.print. Here also I have given system.out.print. Why print is given? So that the prompt remains on the same line and you also give the value on the same line in front of this prompt. Otherwise, if I give print line, what will happen? This message will come on the first line and your input will go to the next line, which doesn't look nice, because you have to enter in front of the, like you fill the forms, you enter the value in front of the messages given in the forms, like name in front of name, you give the name, in front of address, you give the address. So here in front of first number, you give the first number, in front of second number, you give the second number. So therefore I have given print in both the statements. So here also I have given print. Now we will check these programs one by one on the BlueJ platform and understand the execution and running of this program. So we start here with the programs. First program I have already written here. This program is there. This is the program with the values, default values 56 and 44. Now we compile this program. So I hope this is compiled successfully. No syntax errors. Close it. We make the object with right click, new sum. The new object is created. Then we run the function by right clicking it, void sum. Sum is the function to be executed. When we run this function, we get the answer sum of 56 and 44 is equal to 100. So this is the first program where we see the values 56 and 44 is equal to 100. Now suppose we run it again. We run it again the same function is run. Again you will get sum of 56 and 44 is equal to 100. Why? You run 10 times, you get the same answer because the values don't change. Values are fixed in 56 and 44 in the program. Therefore, you don't get the different answer because the values are fixed here. You see 56 and 44 are given here. Therefore, no change. So this method is the first method. Then we come to the second program. Now second program is sum of numbers 2. Now in this program what we will have? We will have that input by the argument method, function argument. So we again compile it. After compilation, no errors. We run this, make the object and run the function now, sum. Now void sum, 2 parameters are given here. We just click on it and you see a method call window comes here. Void sum int ab. This is the function displayed here, and here 2 boxes are there. First box is for int a, second box is for int b. Means in first box you have to enter the value for a and second box you have to enter the value for b. Int a, int b means integer values. So we give 2 values, 45, and here we give 34. Okay, and then we press OK. As soon as we press OK button, we get the answer sum of 45 and 34 is 79. You see the earlier program, 56 and 44, 56 and 44, 2 times same thing is coming, but here 45 and 34 which we give as is coming. Again, suppose we run this program. Again, it will ask you some new values here in the method call. So you can give 23 and the next value you can give here as 56 and OK. Now you see here the sum of 23 and 56 is 79. Although the answer is 79, but the values are changed. Fine. Again, if you run this program, suppose you give us 67 and 77. Okay. Now it will take the values of 67 and 77 and give you the answer 144. So every time you can change the values and get the different answers. This is more generic or general program. This is better than the previous one, the first program, which has the fixed values. Okay. Now this is over. So we will do the next program now. We will close this and we will have the new object. This is the new object. Sum of numbers 2, and we run here void sum. Now here you see enter the first number. This is the third program using a scanner class method. You see here enter the first number. So like a form you are filling, this prompt has come in front of this number. This you give a number like 66 and press enter. As soon as you press enter, you get the second number prompt where you give suppose 34, and as soon as you press enter you get the answer sum of 66 and 34 is equal to 100. So this is more better user friendly program. Again, if you run this program, this method, again it will ask you the first number like 89, press enter, second number 78, press enter, you will get the answer 89 and 78 is equal to 167. This is the third program which I executed for you and showed you how the input is done by the scanner class method. Now we make the fourth program, fourth object, and this fourth object is actually using buffer reader method. Again it will ask you to enter the first number. So the execution is same. The output you will see is the same on the screen. Enter the first number, but earlier these two were from the scanner class. Now we are doing a buffer reader class. So we give the values 56, press enter, 45, press enter, 56 and 45, 101. Okay. Again if I run this program with buffer reader method, again it will ask you to enter the first number. So the working is same, 89 and 56. Suppose two numbers we give, 89 and 56 is 145. So you see here all the 4 types of different input methods we have used. We have used the default method, the pre-assigned values. We have used the argument method, function argument, parameter list we have given, and accordingly we have changed the values and got the answer. We have used the scanner class method where we enter the values in the user friendly method by giving the prompts, and in front of the prompts we give the values. Accordingly we can change the values of our own choice and get the answers here. And buffer reader also has the same effect. The effect is same whether you use scanner class or buffer reader class. Only the difference is of the user friendly method and little bit simplicity in scanner class. So this is all about the scanner class and buffer reader class and the input methods I explained you. I hope you must have understood these programs very well, and I hope to meet you in the next session very soon, where we will do some more programs on all these concepts which we have covered so far since my first session. So thank you and have a nice day. God bless you all. Thanks.